What a difference a day makes. Yesterday I was talking about having nothing to talk about. Today I've got too much. I just had a client that was talking to me. They invited me over from a really cool Christmas party the night before Christmas, and a lot of good food and was taken, pool game and all kinds of stuff they've got at their house. They've got it pretty well set up. But she's just talking to me now through messaging back and forth, and she asked me, she says, I put the dog up, she put him in a crate, and she was busy playing pool and having a good time with the party, and decided to take him out of the crate and let him hang with her, and she had him on a 6-foot leash, in the house. So dog was doing very well, and she went to go do something or whatever, and didn't know what to do, so a person asked to go ahead and I'll take him, and she was going to go do something or whatever, and this person went to go grab the dog, and the dog didn't feel comfortable with it and started trying to mouth him and that kind of thing, and she was very curious why her dog did this. And a little later her dad was doing the same thing with the dog, and the father went to go take control of the dog's collar, and the same kind of thing happened, right? So I told her the same thing I'll tell you. How would you feel if you went out in public and you look across the way and there's a seedy old man, he's kind of got a limp and he's a little scuzzy, and he looks at you and acts like he knows you, and he walks up to you and he's going to go hug you, right? Starts hugging you and kissing on you. You don't know this guy from Adam. How would you feel? Put yourself in that emotional state of mind and ask yourself, how would you feel if some scuzzy weirdo came up and started to get too friendly with you and started hugging and kissing on you? How would you feel? What would you do, right? You'd get defensive. You'd get out of here. You'd get physical with him, and you'd do something. Well, that's the same way the dog feels. You know what I mean? The dog didn't know these people from Adam. Why are you going to let somebody take control of your dog when he has no relationship with them, and take control of your dog and then wonder why your dog bit somebody, right? This dog was a young adolescent dog and didn't bite him and went to mouth him and was a little bit, but that's where propensities start to grow. And pretty soon that dog does have a biting problem because the people don't know how to treat their dog properly, right? That dog deserves just as much respect as far as its space, right? Its physical space. They have a feeling of space just like we do. How do you feel when somebody gets too close to you and gets too friendly and you don't know? See what I'm saying? Dog feels the same way. There's no difference, right? So you expecting that dog not to want to try to bite them or this dog only mouthed them and it wasn't a full-on bite, but you get my point. Why would you put your dog into that situation where you're setting up for failure and that dog ends up biting somebody, and now it's the dog's fault and the dog gets put down because of stupidity, right? Humans. I get so irritated and upset at people in general that have no concept, and they're don't get me wrong. I mean, people are human beings. They need to be educated. They need to be taught and need to understand what we're trying to teach them and educate them about. But reality and truth is that the world that comes at me as a professional trainer, in other words, humans, right? Human nature that I deal with in working with their animals and teaching them dog psychology and what they to have a better relationship with their dog. It's all based on their perspective, their perceptions, and how they view the world on what they've been fed over time. TV, books, whatever they've read. Their perspective is skewed 90% of the times because they really don't have a clue. That conversation I had earlier about the purely positive crowd. Same thing. They don't have a clue because they don't understand what it entails to put pressure on a dog, to get a dog through pressure, to use aversives, to understand the quality in the methods that we use that we understand. I understand the method. I eat, breathe, and sleep this, guys, for 30 years. Major saturation of dogs over the years. That means that I understand dog psychology a lot better than the average bear. And I don't expect the public to know any different, but that's what I'm talking about when I say that a dog is not a robot. The robot center and the perspective that people have a view and a perception and what they think a trained dog is all about. Nothing more than educating the customer and teaching them to understand dog psychology and what a dog is all about versus a dog's not a robot, right? But it's easy to get a little bit misplaced because we have so much in our media going out there with people like me going out and doing all this fancy stuff with the dog, and boy, it looks totally cool, doesn't it? Looks bad, but you don't understand the hours and the thousands of hours that I've done to build that dog, to teach him how to learn, to give him the right psychology in regards to things, to build that house, right? It takes a long time. And one mistake like that, if that dog would have turned around and bit that person that tried to manhandle him at her party, it wouldn't have been the dog's fault. But of course, the dog would have been the one that suffered the consequences, not the human, you know. And the stupidity of the owner and the stupidity of the person that thinks they're going to go grab that dog like that, it's not right, you know. And so what I'm trying to get across with this in a little bit of a gruff manner, and I apologize for that, but it irritates me because it's all about the perspective and the perception of the person that comes at you and how they view things in the world. They don't view things the same way I do. I live in a whole different world, and I'm trying to educate you and teach you and get you up to speed to a point where you will understand it, where you can have a very healthy and worthwhile relation with your dog and have value in what I have to give you, right? What I have to give you? Knowledge. Okay, that's what my goal is, to be able to teach, educate, and to get you to have a quality relationship with your dog. That's a lot more important to me than just teaching the dog behaviors of heel, sit, down, stay. That's easy. The hard part is getting the customer to understand how it's been done and what they've got to do to keep it up and to stay on top of the training and get them off the couch so their lifestyle gets into the dog in such a way that now they're getting a lot more out of the animal because they're putting the energy in, right? Remember what I've said before? You get out what you put in, right? Very important. All right, so that's about it. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, signing off with another little short yak session. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.